Keller, Mr. Farrell.
Oh, thank you. Hello, Father Keller? This is Charlie Farrell. How are you? Fine. Look, Father, I'm over here at the Beverly Hills Hotel. I've been playing tennis this morning with 4 pals of mine. I think you know them, yes. Frank Sedgeman, Ken McGregor, Pancho Segura, and Jack Kramer. And one of the boys said something about making a picture with you, making one of those Christopher pictures with a tennis background. Oh, they did? Oh, they volunteered? Well, listen, that's great. Well, I've got them over here all together now. And why don't you rush right over here, and we'll get it all lined up, and we'll make one of those pictures, huh? Well, fine. Will you come right over? Oh, good. I'll see you in a few minutes, Father. Bye-bye.
Hello, Charlie.
Father, so nice to see you again.
You're a peach to phone. Let me know about this tennis.
Well, you're very prompt. Now, the boys are over there playing, so let's go and join them, huh?
All right, fine.
Hi, Frank. Oh, Jack. Attaboy. Frank, you remember Father Keller? Frank Sedgeman?
How do you do, Father? It's nice to see you again.
Father, you remember Jack Kramer? Of course.
Jack, it's good to see you.
Thank you, Father.
Remember that promise about
That's
the picture?
right. Well, we're here and ready to go anytime you're set.
Well, a few points I want to talk over with you later about this follow through and keep your eye on the ball and all the rest of the techniques, but I have to see you playing first here.
Well, we'll get out there in a little bit. It's certainly wonderful there that Frank and I are just finished the tour and so forth, and if we can get hold of Pancho Segura and Ken McGregor whenever they're ready, why, we'll go to work.
Well, I'm ready, whenever you are.
Say, Ken, Pancho. You remember Father Keller?
Pancho, nice to see you.
Oh, Father.
Eddie?
You know Ken McGregor, don't you?
Pleasure to see you, Father. How have you been?
Nice of you to come here.
Thank you very much.
Well, we're all set for this picture, and I know a little bit about the technique, you know, the follow through and keep your eye on the ball and so forth. But I think before we get into that, I'd like to see you play.
I bet you'd like to see his two-handed forehand. That's what you're looking forward to.
I certainly am.
Not a bad shot. That's a good shot, Father.
Well, I'd like to see you all play. How about it?
Yes, we'd like to play.
All right,
fellas, let's swing in here, boys. All right.
Good. Good, and Father, we don't want to stay here and get hit by a ball or get in the way, so why don't we go up in the patio there where we can watch everything?
All right, fine. Very good. Swell. Charlie, I'm glad to get another picture like this because each one reaches millions of people and expresses over and over again our theme of what one person can do with God's help to change the world for the better. And I think it applies very well to tennis. And there's a great story, I think, in Segura's example. I've heard a little bit about it, but I don't know the whole story.
Well, briefly, Father, Pancho Segura came from a very poor family in Ecuador. His father was a greenskeeper, one of the tennis clubs down there, and Pancho didn't have very much opportunity to take lessons or anything, but he had a racket, and he acted as ball boy around this tennis club, and every opportunity he got, he'd get out and play tennis or get out and practice, and he watched all the good players, and somehow he got into a tournament and did very well, and then he got into another tournament, and he finally beat the socks off of everybody.
Well, I've watched him. I knew a little bit about his story, but I think it's just a powerful example of what one person can do. And we feel that if that same drive, that same determination is applied to changing the world for the better, to individuals getting into these vital fields and working in them for the good of everybody, well, we can't help but have peace. We have thousands of examples, but well, now look at that drive.
that two-handed forehand of his, he uses two hands in the forehand and the backhand. That's his famous shot. That's what he's noted for. That's what he's famous for. He developed that shot probably because he was so small. You know, he probably doesn't weigh 135 pounds. He's a little pigeon-toed, and but he probably couldn't hit a forehand with one hand as hard as the average player. So he uses two hands. He gets terrific power by turning way around and just socking that ball.
But he just keeps at it.
Well,
it's that constant drive, and that's what I admire so much in tennis. To win, you have to keep at it. There are thousands of cases that come in. I've just given you a few of them. I think of out here in a place like Los Angeles, we discovered that in the national election, 87% of the total registered number of people who registered and went to the polls in November. When they had their election in the spring here, only 52% of the people went to the polls. Now, that's not good in any part of the country. It's the same story all over the country today. The people are falling down. They want to take it easy. You can't have self-government unless people vote.
Well, Father, you just said something about waking up to your responsibilities. It reminds me of a story of something that happened, I don't remember just what year, probably 1937, 36 or 37, when Jack Kramer was a good tennis player. He was on his way to become a champion, but he was probably one of the first 10 ranking players at the time. And I was playing against him in a tournament in Palm Springs, and I was serving the fifth game. Now, I had the first 4 games, and I had him love 40, and he was talking to himself, believe me. Then he woke up. Then I think he woke up to his responsibilities because he took the next 6 games one right after the other. I didn't have a chance. Then in the second set, I got 2 games from him. So in front of the crowd, I asked Jack, I said, Jack, how many games did you give me in that match this morning? And he says, well, he says, I'll tell you one thing. He says, I didn't give you any games in that first set. Now, I don't think he did, but he did give me a couple of games in the second set.
It's a very good point there, because it emphasizes our theme once more, Charlie, that we say when people wake up to their responsibility, then they do something. There's tremendous power in people. You know, most people go through life hitting on one cylinder, but they could have hit on all 16 if they ever woke up to what they can do.
If they had a 16-cylinder car.
Well, there's great power. It's the hardest thing to convince people of the power that God has put in them for good. They keep playing themselves down. And we don't do much, honestly. All we do is remind them of their tremendous power. And then suddenly they find out they have the power, and then nothing can stop them. Look at where Jack Kramer's gone ever since.
Yes. I'm going to work this afternoon. I have to rehearse. I have to do a radio show. We do a radio show and a television show, and I'm going to work this afternoon. I'm going to talk to Gail Storm. That's my little Margie, and I'm going to inject a little of that talk into it, and so we'll get our rating from 10 down to 1.
Very good.
Well, Father, I think that we should shoot one of these tennis pictures sometimes down at Palm Springs, down at my racket club.
Very good. Sometime when I'm out here, I'd like to do one.
We're to do it maybe next winter.
I'd like to.
Fine.
Very good.
Oh, here comes my old friend Jimmy Gleason. Hi, Jimmy.
Charlie, how are you? Father!
Nice to see you.
Glad to see you. What are you doing out here, Padre?
Making a few more pictures for our television series.
More Christophers?
That's right.
Wonderful. Couldn't be better.
Well, I'm just here for a few days, but I fell into this. A nice setting for another Christopher picture with all the tennis players.
That's grand. Boys look good, don't they?
Very good.
Well, you'll excuse me. I've got to run. I've got a game on.
Are you playing too?
Yes, we got O'Brien and Colonna and... Well, I don't know, some character that O'Brien has picked up, but I'll be seeing you. Good luck, Bobby.
Thanks very
Bye.
much.
See you, Jimmy. Father, wasn't that a beautiful service ace of Kramer's? Oh, gee, these boys play such even tennis. No wonder they stand about, I think it's 48.
Hi, Father.
Hi, Pat.
Pat O'Brien.
Good to see you. What are you doing here?
A few more
Charlie.
Christopher pictures, Pat.
Oh, keep making them. The world loves them.
Well, Pat, I understand you're here to play a little tennis this afternoon.
Very little, believe me.
Who are you playing with, Colonna and Gleason?
That's right.
And who's your fourth?
I thought Gleason was the fourth.
No, Gleason said you were going to bring the fourth.
Oh, this is great. I wind up playing polo, charades, and lacrosse. Better get going. I got to get some tennis shoes on.
I'll see you later, Pat.
See you, Charlie. Good to see you,
success,
Father.
Pat.
God bless you.
Good game.
Thank you. He did a great job in one of our pictures.
He did?
Very
Well,
good. Excellent.
He's a swell guy. I wonder what kind of a tennis game he plays.
Well, we will find out.
Look at that. Look at that shot.
It's a great treat for me to be watching tennis like this, Charlie. I don't get a chance very often.
I'll bet. I bet it's wonderful to be out here.
Wonderful.
Say, what's all that commotion down there? Look, there's Pat, Gleason, and Colonna. Now, who's that? Well, they're not having a fight, are they?
Say, what's going on here? Do you know we're playing the finals of a
I
tournament?
don't know what you're playing. We got the court here. We rented the court. We paid a lot of money.
Yeah, but
I
you
rented
know
my
who we
wife.
are?
Never mind. Out! Out! Belongs to out! There you answer it. All right. Right. Oh,
Fix that. Well, we'll play anyway. I'll go over the other side. All right? Okay?
Right.
All right, here we go.
Wait a minute!
Wait a minute, brother. Wait. What's the matter? I can't play tennis against you two guys.
Why not?
I gotta have my partner with me.
Who's your partner?
Harpo Marx.
Harpo Marx. Where is he?
Right there. Harpo, come on. Come on. Now you'll have a game. Wait a minute, fellas. Don't you want to play with him? You don't want to play with him? Well, who do you want to play with? Yeah. Oh, Pop. Lick. Jack. Jack who? Oh, Bells? Oh, Groucho. I'm Groucho. Oh, Carl. Milk. Cream. Jack. Cream. Jack Kramer. Oh, there's comes Jack Kramer. There you are. You got a partner.
Want to play some tennis? All right, that's good enough for me.
Well, Father, this has been so much fun watching this, but as you know, I have to leave. I have to do a radio show this afternoon, and I want to get you down there because I want you to talk to Jack Kramer and get everything lined up.
Thanks, Charlie, very much. I can't thank you enough, Jack, for coming here and providing this wonderful setting for another Christopher picture. I see a very close tie-up between tennis and the Christopher approach.
Well, I think you're right, Father, and I've been very anxious to talk to you ever since I saw the picture you made with Ben Hogan, and I'd like to have a few things cleared up so that when I travel around the country, I might tell some of my friends about it.
Very good. Well, the Christopher approach is very little to it. The simple purpose is to get more people of high character and competence to restore to the main fields, the vital fields that affect everybody, the basic spiritual truths upon which our nation is founded. It was founded on a spiritual truth. We feel it can't survive without that. And you go right back from the days of the first Thanksgiving right up to now. Now, these four vital fields, Jack, are, as we consider them, 1, education, 2, government, 3, labor relations, and 4, the creative end of newspapers, magazines, books, radio, movies, television, so forth. Anything that communicates ideas, because we feel those fields will be just as good or as bad as the people in them. And through them, they can help the home, the church, business, the professions, and everything else, or they can hurt them. I think this is familiar to you. We feel no field is any better than the people in it. The players make the team.
Well, you're right there, Father, but say, what happens, a fellow in my field of athletics, what can I do?
Well, you can change the world. Well, really, I mean, I've noticed it so much from the people who out-direct the world. They never think in terms of 2 blocks. It's their baby, it's their world. And they have a sense of, they feel a sense of personal responsibility to the whole world. Now, they may be working in a drugstore, but they want to affect those vital fields. And they get somebody else in. They get out and vote. They do everything they can to affect everybody. And, for instance, you could do just as much as a student in Boston. He knew a friend of his who was looking for a job in Baltimore. So he wrote him and he said, why don't you get into one of these fields that affect everybody? A fine lad. The boy is now in radio, just starting off. A mother encouraged her daughter to go into teaching. One lady, I can't mention this man's name because he has a high position in government now, but he didn't want to get into government, and he'd been offered a fine position. And his wife said, well, all you do is sit here and complain about what's wrong. Here you have an opportunity to go in. You don't complain about anybody after this if you don't take this job. He took the job. He's now in. So we say do something about it. We feel the whole world is in a very difficult position today, a very critical position. And it's maybe going from bad to worse because a little handful, they want to spread hatred from one end of the world to the other. And we feel that another little handful, even 1%, can change it for the better, or bring back. And if they can do nothing except pray that one person gets into one of these vital fields, or one person already in the fields change from negative to positive, I think a great deal can be done. I'm sure as you go over the country, you'll be putting a lot of people in these fields.
Well, that's wonderful, Father. I certainly appreciate that, and I understand a lot better.
Well, as I see, you know tennis. I know a little bit about it, but I see many things in tennis that can be applied to people if you apply them. That same perseverance, that same drive, as I mentioned many times in talks, but I'm going to let you tell me that. I mean, like following through.
Well, the basic things in tennis, I'd say the first thing is you've got to keep your eye on the ball at all times.
You never lose sight of that.
Never lose sight of that, or you start hitting them on the wood, as we say. And then you've got to have that follow-through. Once you hit the ball, then you've got to carry it on the racket to get it over the net, right where you're aiming for. And real big thing now, and I'd say in modern-type tennis, is you have to be aggressive. Take the ball on the rise. Don't let somebody else take the play away from you.
That's, is this correct, too? You can't win a game of tennis being on the defensive.
Well, not against a real good player like Frank Sedgeman or Ken McGregor or Pancho Gonzalez, the fellows that I play with. If you play on a defensive, why, they're going to take the play away and they're into the net and they just beat you very badly.
Well, the way things are moving today, I don't think anybody can be on the defensive. The best defense is an offense, and we say that get in there and make your voice heard. I'd like to learn more about it, but I'm very grateful to you and all of the men for coming out here today and giving us this demonstration. This film will be shown all over the country to millions of people, and really, I say this in all sincerity, it frightens the life out of me to see how willing people are to do something when they get the slightest word of encouragement. We don't do much. All we do is try to encourage. There's so many good people. The world is full of good people, but for some reason they stay in the background. While the good people are taking care of themselves, the other people are taking care of everybody else.
Gee, Father, I know that everybody that was here today with you was really honored to be here, and there's nothing more than I can say than that.
Jack, I can't thank you enough, but at least I can pray that God will bless and strengthen you to do good wherever you go. And I wish that the others were here I'd like to thank them too.
Well, Father, you don't have to wish any longer, because here they are right now.
Oh, good.
Hello, Jack. Boys.
Hello, Jack. Well, anyone for tennis? How do you do? Old joke. You went anyway.
You men played a brilliant game.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you, Father.
I thought that the second match between these boys was the best myself.
That's what he meant
I'd
in
like
the
to
first
take
place.
them on tour.
How do you like it, Father?
I'm going to take up tennis. Well, I can tell each one of you, in answer to Jack's question a while ago, he said, what can I do? And I can answer right here to each one of you. You've done a lot already. You've helped to carry this message to millions and millions of people. And you'll be probably getting people doing all sorts of good things.
Million love.
Well, I appreciate it very much. And I might sum it up in this way. To be a good Christopher or Christ bearer, all you need is a lot of faith, twice as much hope, and about 4 times as much charity.
Father, do you think that if we studied real hard with our tennis that we might get a chance to go to heaven?
I think so.
I didn't think it would happen so soon.
Harpo, I want to thank you very much for being with us today. And I would like to ask one more favor of you, and that is if you'll play your composition, The Guardian Angels. Friends, in conclusion, may I remind each one of you that God has put a power for good in you that he's put in nobody else. He's put a bit of the missionary in you. And he wants you to do everything in your power to change the world for the better. Do it through love. Don't do it through fear. Through love of what is right, not fear of what is wrong. And I've been asked to read for you, in conclusion, a little excerpt out of our booklet, Why the Christophers. It's just emphasizing the positive. Remember what Paul the Apostle said, be not overcome by evil, but overcome evil by good. And here are these little recommendations. We're looking for more people to improve, fewer merely to disapprove. More doers, fewer talkers. More to say it can be done, fewer to say it can't be done. More to inspire others with confidence, fewer to throw cold water on anyone taking even one step in the right direction. More to get into the thick of things and do something about it, fewer to sit on the sidelines merely finding fault. More to point out what's right with the world, fewer to keep harping on what's wrong with it. More to be interested in lighting candles, fewer in blowing them out. In other words, in the recommendation of the Christophers, what we keep repeating all the time, better to light one candle than to curse the darkness. God bless each and every one of you.